And good evening and welcome here to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. I am Greg Phelps. I also hate computer software, but that's a whole nother story. Glad we got on here, folks. I will warn you, there'll be no scoreboard tonight. Maybe I'll have Will hold his fingers in front of the camera so you can kind of get that. Thank you again very much for tuning in. Sorry we had a little problem with the JV game, but we got her fixed. We got her going. And so we will be on the way with that in just a moment. We'll have the Cyclones taking on the Farmers. With me, my son, Will Phelps, also joining us on the break. Good evening, William.
Hello, Gregory.
All right. And Will, tonight for the Cyclones, it's been a little up and down for the Cyclones here. Got one the other night, or got one last night against West Central, trying to get on a winning streak after a rough early go of it in the season. And so we'll see them tonight in the black uniforms. I will step aside un momento, por favor, to do the lineups, as I always do. It's been a while. I'll have to I see if I can get warmed up for it or not. But very glad that you guys could be alongside us here this evening. At one point, I wasn't sure. But, hey, here we are. So we will have the Cyclones, I believe, at 5 and 8 on the season, taking on the Farmington, we'll call them Farmers. Lady Farmers seems sometimes a little weird. I mean, that they will be in the purple tonight as the Cyclones in the black uniforms, and it always seems a little weird to me, of course, being a basketball coach, that the Cyclones wear the dark uniforms at home, white on the road sometimes, so it makes it a little bit unique here as they're getting ready to Farmington taking the court. And of course, this does start us into our coming sports season here. West Prairie does not have many home games, 7 total, and we'll be here for a few. I will step aside for a couple of them as our TSSR Game Time Live crew will be there, of course, and we'll have all those coming up for you as we get into the season. Of course, have girls basketball, boys basketball, some selected contests for you as we go along the way. We're going to step aside right now. This is TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
My name is Kelsey Cunningham. I'm a nurse practitioner with the cardiology department here at McDonough District Hospital. Cardiology is like a big puzzle. A lot of things can be traced back to the heart, and to see somebody in your office at the beginning of the process really down on themselves and, not feeling like their best self, and I think in their mind never really thinking that they're going to recover from that, to fast forward 6 months where they're back doing things they once did. It's the ultimate goal, and I love to see it happen.
I'm Lindsay Schaefer. I'm a physical therapist specializing in pelvic floor physical therapy here at McDonough District Hospital Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation. Young women, a lot of them have pelvic pain. They don't realize that it's something that they don't have to live with anymore. It's very common for people to have urinary leakage. And I always say it's common, but it's not normal. It's not something you need to live with. I also focus on hip pain, back pain. It's all kind of connected. Any age really can benefit from it.
And we are back here. Glad to, again, you're alongside for volleyball action. Did want to mention, you'll hear me mention it when I make the public service announcement, but don't forget, coming up on Thursday for the Cyclone boys, they will be junior high baseball boys will be in regional play at 4:30 at Monmouth ICS. So good luck to them there. And did want to talk about some of the games ahead for the Cyclone volleyball team. Thursday they'll be at South Fulton. On Monday at Peoria Heights. Wednesday at North Fulton. The next home game will be September 23rd versus Elmwood at 6 p.m. And then Thursday, September 25th, versus Central right here at West Prairie High School. And as we go along here, Coach Drew Snyder taking over the reins this year for the Cyclones as the head man now working on some different things. Of course, one long fixture here on the sidelines. Terry Paul is now working with her niece up at Macomb. And Gwen Kalki, a former Cyclone player, also sister of Lily Scheffler from the JV team, is working here as the assistant coach. So a little bit different, a little bit of a change from years past. And there's never a problem with that, but just a little bit of a different look. I mean, the basics things are the same as Coach Snyder has been around the program for, I believe they said 17 years. So that would be long enough. I think he knows what the system is like, Will. Oh. We'll get you worked in, bud. We'll do that as we go along here. And, of course, Will does phenomenal camera work, working him in on the voice stuff as we go along. And maybe someday he'll even replace his father. There would probably be a lot of you in the audience that probably say that would be all right as we tow it up and look forward here. Don't forget, coming up, a lot of fun volleyball action. I know football coming up this Friday night as Scioto, the Cyclones, will be in action with another home football contest, and we'll have that for you coming up on Friday. We'll step aside for just a moment. This is TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I think the rewarding parts of my job are seeing people over time and getting to know them and getting to know their families. And that's very exciting to see them and get them better over time, especially if I'm able to find out something that other places haven't. And that's kind of what drew me to family medicine. You know, I try to get along with people and treat them as I would my family. Do what we can to get the patients taken care of day in and day out. It's pretty supportive. I'm Dr. Michael Waters. I'm a family physician here at the McDonough District Hospital Family Clinic.
I'm Lindsay Schaefer. I'm a physical therapist specializing in pelvic floor physical therapy here at McDonough District Hospital Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation. Young women, a lot of them have pelvic pain. They don't realize that it's something that they don't have to live with anymore. It's very common for people to have urinary leakage. And I always say it's common, but it's not normal. It's not something you need to live with. I also focus on hip pain, back pain. It's all kind of connected. Any age really can benefit from it.
And I'm going to step aside and do my public address stuff, so folks just hang on for the ride and listen in with us as we get ready to do that here this evening. As the Farmers finishing up here, the serving and that. And it's a little bit different, the warm-ups are, than they used to be. You'd have one group go, then both of them would serve at each other. And I suppose for safety's sake, they decided to discontinue things like that in the warm-up. The Cyclones getting the win on the JV side of things here tonight, as they were able to pick that win up over the Farmers. And again, the JV and the whole team trying to get back on a little bit of a run here as they go along. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A couple announcements before we get to the play this evening. Don't forget, coming up on Thursday, the Cyclone Junior High Boys baseball team will be in action coming up at ICS at 4:30 in regional play. Also, as we're getting here for the enjoyment of all those in the gym this evening, please do not walk past or go out during play. Please wait till stoppages of play before you exit the gym. Good evening and welcome to West Prairie Junior Senior High School for this evening's matchup between the Farmington Farmers and your West Prairie Cyclones. At this time, please rise, ladies and gentlemen, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. And now, let's welcome the teams to the floor this evening. First, for the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Farmington Farmers. Number 6, Ella Johnson. Number 1, Ava Essex. Number 10, Lindsay Schreiber. Number 12, Caitlin McGee. Number 4, Bailey Duwa. Number 5, Kaylee Toombs. Number 24, Haley Whitby. The Farmers are coached by Ashley Monroe, assisted by Kayla Humpel and Tori Adolphson. And now, for all those in attendance, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time to meet the starting lineup for your West Prairie Cyclones! Number 8, Madeline Sullivan. Number 4, Naya Zimmerman. Number 7, J.C. Reynoso. Number 5, Madison Adams. Number 2, Olivia Bartley. Number 6, Alexa Bartley. And the libero tonight, number 9, Abby Starbuck. Cyclones are coached by Drew Snyder, assisted by Gwen Kalke. Officials for tonight's game, Michael Hines and James Hartshorn. Good luck to both teams this evening. Whew, I'm tired.
I think you might want to sit down after that.
I know, getting old, isn't it? Strain the old pipes. I guess.
I got goose eggs all over.
You have goose eggs? You mean goose bumps, don't you?
Same difference.
All right, well, tonight, the two teams squaring off here, Farmington Lady Farmers. Not really sure of the record. I'll say I'm remiss on that, folks, but tonight, they will try to get the Cyclones trying to get themselves back on track a little bit. Like I said, had a rough Macomb tournament at 1-4. Went 0-3 at pool play at Southeastern in the Suns Classic. Bounced back on the Saturday 1-2, so ended up with a 2-3 record there. You add all that together, and it is a 5-8 record here tonight. And so, as they get out here on the floor, the official making his list and checking it twice. Naughty or nice, not much to do with it, but who is where and not necessarily why, but where there should be. Madeline Sullivan will serve it first here for the Cyclones. Booms it in the backcourt, taken by the libero, Whitby. Banged that into the ceiling, couldn't get the pass to go. And that will be a point for the Cyclones, 1-0. They lead it here. Madeline Sullivan eyes it up again, sends it on the way over to Whitby, pops it up, needs help. Nobody home. The drops it in for a 2-0 lead for the Cyclones. And it was kind of a thing where Whitby got that one, but didn't get it up to where anybody else could get to it.
Yep, that didn't have quite a strong back line there.
And now up, they set it up for number 10, Schreiber. No indication whether she is related to Avery. And folks, if you get that reference, a little obscure there, but hey, why not? Serve on the way by Madeline Sullivan. Low line drive, Whitby up underneath it. Going to be popped up to the outside, hit across. Into the back row, Sullivan's got on the smash from Johnson. Loaded up for her in the back court. Boom! There it is. Found a home where nobody roamed and put it in. And the Cyclones up 4-0 here early on. Serve by Sullivan into the back row, popped up. Needs a little help. Whitby's going to have to try to take it across. Not going to get there. And it'll make it a 5-0 the lead here for the Cyclones. 5-0 here. Farmington having a little trouble with the serve receive. Serve that one, a little bit too much muscle on that one. And Will, you know, getting off to this quick start here, Madeline got a little bit of muscle behind that one.
Yep, and that's probably the biggest mistake anyone makes on these long runs.
And the serve off of Starbuck up to the net, tip right down there as Schreiber says, thou hath not deposited, thou shalt not get a return. Eyed up, it is Johnson back there at the serve. Ella Johnson serving here for the Farmers. In their jerseys, a little bit of the Western Illinois University look. Serve to Liv Barkley, up to Sullivan. Back set for Zimmerman, cross courts it, but went out of bounds. So they will have Farmington on a run, making it 5-3 here. Serve back row, Starbuck pops it into the middle, Sullivan on the fly, over to Adams, and it brings it up. Whitby from Johnson, and tapped over there by McGee. Set outside for Zimmerman, dug up by Farmington, brought back across there by Essex, but couldn't get it. Starbuck a little trouble, and look at this, Farmington making a run back here. A 4-0 burst by them. Serve, low line drive, picked up by Barkley in the back row, up to the net. Sullivan not able to get it out of there. And we'll make it 5-5. Serve again, into the back row. Starbuck right up to the net. Sullivan able to keep it out of the way. Reynoso can't get it. And how about that? The Farmers making a run back and into the lead, 6-5. They lead it here, 6-5. A run of 6-0 run. Serve again to Starbuck, high up to the net, tap down and off of Zimmerman. And Will, on these runs, it's been kind of, Farmington was having trouble getting things going, and now the Cyclones having trouble getting things to go.
Yep, it's, I think, a lot of communication errors we've got going on here, but, I mean, Farmington was able to pick it up. Let's hope West Prairie can pick it up as the game goes on.
Sir back row, yep, they say out of bounds. Pretty close there, about. As we get going here, it is 7-6 on the side out. Serve off of McGee, and Whitby had trouble with it, so drops in. It is 7-7 now. All tied here. Serve by Nia Zimmerman on the way. Back row, popped up to the front. Johnson underneath it, sets it up high. Schreiber pokes it right over the hands of J.C. Reynoso. And folks, it's what I say a lot of times in basketball, you just can't teach tall. Sub coming in for the Farmers, it is Jessamine Albritton. Serve, Barkley picks it up, she'll be loaded on the outside. Liv Barkley down the line. And they're going to say, well, some discussion, and they said it was in on the line. And Coach Ashley Monroe talking to the official. Eight tie here. Served by Starbuck into the back row, popped up there, and brought across by Albritton. Cyclones will load it up back to Liv Barkley. Off of Whitby, out of bounds it goes. 9-8, the Cyclones right back into the lead. They'll eye it up as Abby Starbuck back to let it go. Wine sends, low line drive off the top of the net. Tipped over by Johnson, popped up there as Zimmerman going to bring it to Adams. Has it stuffed, but it hit the out stick. And if you remember any of my broadcasts, folks, you always remember the out stick is, of course, always the out stick. Starbuck with it off to Whitby, popped up by Johnson. Set on the outside, All-Britain sent back across by Madison Adams. Up in front to Whitby, popped up. And now Whitby back across with it. Cyclones will load it again. Alexa Barkley, down and boom. We've got a timeout called by Farmington. We'll step aside as well. 11-8, the Cyclones lead it here over the Farmers on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
My name is Kelsey Cunningham. I'm a nurse practitioner with the cardiology department here at McDonough District Hospital. Cardiology is like a big puzzle. A lot of things can be traced back to the heart, and to see somebody in your office at the beginning of the process really down on themselves and not feeling like their best self, and I think in their mind never really thinking that they're going to recover from that, to fast forward 6 months where they're back doing things they once did. It's the ultimate goal, and I love to see it happen.
And Will, you mentioned it as we were in the break there, kind of a back and forth game. Each team has struggling to get a little momentum.
Yep, I think the best thing that each team has going for them is these really hard workers. We've got Whitby and Sullivan on each team that, no matter what goes on, they're able to pass it back and forth.
And now Alexa Barkley finishes one off there. And yes, indeed, the Cyclones, Barkley worse than their bite. As Abby Starbuck will let it go. Serve off of Whitby. Johnson going to pop it high to the outside. All-Britain. Lollipopper to Abby Starbuck. Bumps it up front to Sullivan. Outside to Adams, and that one, the excuse me spike, drops in. And it is nice to see this crowd pretty loud. A lot of fans here tonight. And that's awesome, folks. You'd love to have a great fan section like that here. As Starbuck, a little softer shot this time off Whitby. Johnson up the outside, Schreiber off the blocks to the wall. And it's 13-8. Again, I will try to give you the update as best I can here. On the score, it is 13-9 right now on the side out over to Lindsay Schreiber. Launches the jump serve, or jump slurve actually. And now it's popped up there by Toombs, but hit it backwards, and Johnson couldn't get it. 14-9 lead here. Madison McClure will replace Madison Adams, the exchanging of the Madisons. And we have more Madisons in the early White House. Look that one up, history buffs. Serve is out the way. Johnson brings it across. McClure up to it. Outside for Barkley. Dumps it over and in. Found a home where nobody roamed and dropped it home for a 15-9 lead. Madison McClure coming off of Whitby. To Johnson on the outside, All-Britain tipped and eaten alive as Sullivan says, stay on your side. 16-9, a 7-point lead now. Now the Cyclones gaining a little momentum. Dare I say, the wind is picking up. Whitby to Johnson, and they're not able to get that one out of the net. And Will, you're noticing here, it has seemed like in this game number one, when one team starts struggling, it just seems to snowball.
Yep, there's always this kind of exchange where they give the ball to one side and it hits for a while and give it back to the other.
And now Sullivan will load it, puts it in with the tip, in and good, 18-9. Madison McClure back again to serve it here. We'll eye it up. Wanders into it and serves off of Whitby. Up the front to Johnson, nearly went across the midline. Tapped across by Toombs. And up to Sullivan to Barkley, off the blocks. Picked up back row now by Essex. Back set by Johnson. Dug up by McClure in the back row. Sullivan up for Alexa Barkley. And it's dug up by Johnson. Flipped over by All-Britain. McClure's on the run there. Up to Barkley. In and good. Another timeout by Farmington. They will talk it over. So will we. 19-9. The Cyclones leading here over the Farmers right here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
Every McDonough District Hospital sports medicine and rehabilitation patient receives one-on-one appointment times with a licensed staff member. They develop a personalized recovery and treatment plan to turn your setback into a comeback. We offer physical and occupational therapy, vestibular rehabilitation, speech-language pathology, cardiac and pulmonary rehabilitation, dry needling, and pelvic floor therapy. MDH, your community physical therapy partner, growing our legacy one patient at a time.
19-9, as you see on the scoreboard there. The Cyclones with the lead here, trying to make it a short night. As Madison McClure will wind it up, ready to let it on the wing. The jump serve into the back row, and that one you could just see it never died. It just up and over and gone. So that'll bring it back over to the Farmers. As coming into the contest, number 8, Corinne Barton. Caitlin McGee will let it fly. Long off of Starbuck, pops it up. Sullivan to the outside. Liv Barkley brings it over and popping it up to Essex. They hump it up front to Albritton, rolls it over. Liv Barkley's there, set up for her from Sullivan, tipped across and popped up. Whitby with it, bumped over now by the Farmers. Sullivan for Alexa Barkley, popped up again. And to the net, they're not going to be able to get it out of there. 20-10. As now Kennedy Webster will come in. Missed last night's game, was a little sick. So glad to see Kennedy back. Serve picked up by Barton, brought over, and Albritton just kind of palmed it and hit it into the net. 21-10. 3 touchdowns on the board for the Cyclones. Webster fires it across again. Pumped up in the back row by Essex, set up front. Flipped over by Toombs. Webster not able to quite get there in time. And now Macy Branch will come in for Madison McClure, and Liv Barkley will come in for Kennedy Webster. 21-11, the Farmers get a chance to go back after it as Jessamine Albritton. They'll bang it around over to Nia Zimmerman, popped up in the back row. They'll help it up front, and that's going to be tipped over by Essex. Sullivan keeps it high, and Barkley brings it up. Set up in the middle. Toombs hammers it. And yes, indeed, Toombs buried it. 21-12, so maybe the Farmers going to try to get back on track a little bit here. Ready with it, eyes it up, serves across off of Liv Barkley, back across the net, tapped back across by Essex, and the Cyclones play it. Nia Zimmerman, dug by Whitby, flying through the back row. Loaded up again for Essex, back row, Starbuck is there. Tipped across by Sullivan, flipped right back across, great save by Liv Barkley. And Sullivan will bring it over to Whitby. They'll load it up in the middle. Toombs flips off the save. Nice try on the save by Sullivan. And Will, the Farmers getting a little inspiration here as they're starting to build a little momentum.
Yep, the ball is finally in their court, as some would say.
Very nicely done. Serve to Sullivan. Tried to load up for Barkley. Alexa, I think, went the wrong way, or a miscommunication on which way she was going. 21-14, down to a touchdown lead for the Cyclones. Serve high in there to Starbuck. Sullivan on the outside. Nia Zimmerman hits it into the net. And the Farmington run continues. It looked like the Cyclones were going to walk away in this one. 21-15. Albritton, that one, mashed that one. I am a little disappointed Sam DeCounter did not make the play on that. I will have to mention that to him later, Will.
He had it in him.
He did. Alexa Barkley back to serve here. J.C. Reynoso in on the front row again. 22-15. Barkley serve, back row, brought up front. Now they'll work it for McGee, tipped across by Toombs, and Liv Barkley takes it over to Nia Zimmerman, blocked and hit back across. Nobody home in the back row for the Cyclones. And Schreiber going to come back in as Whitby will go back to serve it. 22-16. Her serve short. And Barkley gets the floor set up for Reynoso. She'll hammer it. They're going to say out of bounds. Thought maybe it might have gone off Schreiber's fingers. Whitby off Liv Barkley. Sullivan had to fly and dive to get it, and Branch couldn't get there. And it's 22-18. Cyclones have had a habit this season of making things a little harder for themselves than they've needed to. Sullivan high up with it over to Zimmerman, who just kind of hit it off her hand. And it's 22-19. Coach Drew Snyder will take a timeout here, so will we. This is TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
When you trust your healthcare needs to MDH, you'll receive the highest quality, compassionate care from our nationally accredited medical departments and award-winning staff. We are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing exceptional care right here in Macomb. We also accept Aetna, HealthLink, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and most other insurance plans for your convenience. McDonough District Hospital, your regional healthcare partner, growing our legacy one patient at a time.
Welcome back here, 22-19, the lead down to 3. Cyclones had a lead of 10 at 21-11. And it has, as a term my mother used to use, frittered away. Whitby hit that one into the net, makes it 23-19, exactly what the timeout's supposed to do. Madison Adams in as Sullivan will load it up, try to finish it off here. Serve off Whitby, helped up front and now tipped across by Essex rather, up to Reynoso. She'll pound it down and Farmers will bring it up. Essex again, that one into the net, and it is game point for the Cyclones. Madeline Sullivan with a chance to put it away. Wanders into it. Serve, low line drive, hit back across. Whitby launches the home run ball, and the Cyclones take game one by a score of 25-19. We're going to step aside here. You, of course, watching TSSR Game Time Live, our continuing coverage of many schools' athletics. The Cyclones, also the Spartans of Bushnell-Prairie City, Southeastern Suns, once in a great while up to A-Town, and all over the place, and of course Macomb Bomber Sports as well. This is TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
Every McDonough District Hospital sports medicine and rehabilitation patient receives one-on-one appointment times with a licensed staff member. They develop a personalized recovery and treatment plan to turn your setback into a comeback. We offer physical and occupational therapy, vestibular rehabilitation, speech-language pathology, cardiac and pulmonary rehabilitation, dry needling, and pelvic floor therapy. MDH, your community physical therapy partner, growing our legacy one patient at a time.
When you trust your healthcare needs to MDH, you'll receive the highest quality, compassionate care from our nationally accredited medical departments and award-winning staff. We are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing exceptional care right here in Macomb. We also accept Aetna, HealthLink, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and most other insurance plans for your convenience. McDonough District Hospital, your regional healthcare partner, growing our legacy one patient at a time.
And welcome back here as we get ready for game number 2. And I'm sure Coach Drew Snyder, one of the things trying to say here, and I hate to use it, but in sports that's always a vernacular. You want to step on them while you got them down, Will, and I'm sure that's what he's telling them. Keep the pedal down when you get that lead.
Yep, and I think that's a big thing with both teams. you know, how we mentioned passing the ball back and forth, you know, they want to keep in their court for as long as they can. And I think that's what they're looking for mainly as in this next match, is to just keep it in their own court and to keep the pressure going.
And we'll see if they can do just that on the floor for the Cyclones. Madison McClure, Liv, and Alexa Barkley. And folks, her name is Olivia, but everybody calls her Liv. I'll shorten it to Liv for expedience sake. Also, J.C. Reynoso, Naya Zimmerman, and Madeline Sullivan. Starbuck replaces Alexa Barkley. And now coming in, Whitby will replace Toombs in the back row. It is also Ella Johnson, joined by Bailey Duwa, Schreiber, Essex, and I'll catch the other one in just a second, by McGee. Sullivan going to load it up. Nia Zimmerman, long load up. That one hit the out stick. And after all, the out stick is always the out stick. 1-0 lead here for the Farmington Lady Farmers. They had a short lead, about 8-6, and Liv Barkley getting that one off the floor. Sullivan up, and Starbuck will pound it over. In the back row, a little confusion over who was going to get it, as Duwopped it into the wall. It's been a red letter night, folks. That's what happened. The computer doesn't work, and then I have time for my brain to work. 1-1 lead for the Cyclones. As Sullivan will go to it, serve is cross, picked up in the back row. Now Essex bumping it up and hammered over there by Johnson, or Essex rather, and Sullivan gets it in the back row. She hits the home run ball, and it's out of bounds. Substitution, Jessamine Albritton. So you can say that the Farmers have taken their Jessamines today. Essex serves it over, and Schreiber says, I got that, punches it down in the back row, and makes it 3-1, the lead here for the Farmington Lady Farmers, trying to force it to 3. As volleyball matches are 2 out of 3 falls. Served by Essex, a little bit short, and we'll send it over to the Cyclones. Naya Zimmerman. She winds up, sends it on the way high, deep in the back row. Whitby's got it there. Johnson going to set it up and hit over, saved at the floor by Sullivan. Zimmerman brings it across, and they'll load it again. Coming to the outside, Albritton dribbles at that time. Able to dribble it up and over and good. 4-2 lead here for the Farmers. Toombs will come in, and Schreiber will come back to serve as the libero Whitby goes out. Schreiber pounds it back row off of Starbuck. Sullivan sets it out. Liv Barkley hammers it home and puts it in for a 4-3 side out for West Prairie. Alexa Barkley in, Abby Starbuck out. As J.C. Reynoso will look to load it up here. Left side load up, pounds it over, off of Essex. They are able to save it. Whitby back across to Zimmerman. Sullivan up quickly to Barkley, hits it long and out of bounds, and Farmington maintains that lead at 5-3. And Will, you're seeing here, sometimes you can get just a little bit too excited when you're doing things like playing games, and the Cyclones got to settle down, do the things that got them in the lead in game 1. Sullivan pops it up over to Liv Barkley, taps it through. Albritton, she pounds it out of bounds, and a side out back to West Prairie. Macy Branch in, Madison Adams will go out, as they will serve here. Served by Branch, popped, hammered up into the ceiling, and Barton didn't really know what to do with it. She pounded it up there, got stuck, and it finally fell out. 5-5, the Cyclones trying to rally into the lead. Branch lets it go. Barton has it. Up front, flipped over. Liv Barkley says, nope, you take it. 6-5, 1 point advantage now for West Prairie. Serve pounder by Macy Branch, in and out. Branch has that serve leaf out and hit to the back wall. Branch is going to set it up here again as Coach Monroe is trying to reposition the Lady Farmers a bit. Branch's serve comes off of Barton, brought back in and tapped over by Toombs, who darn near palmed it up to Barkley, who puts it home off the block with a kiss for an 8-5 advantage. Couple dribbles by Macy Branch, serves back row, and right between Whitby and McGee, split the uprights and makes it 9-5. Cyclones their largest lead of game number 2. Branch off Whitby, needs help, and Barton hit that one sideways, couldn't get across. We've got a timeout on the floor. 10-5, 5-point advantage here for the Cyclones. Well, while we got this opportunity, we like to highlight other programs, and I happen to know one of the officers for some of the other programs.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
So, Mr. Phelps, you want to talk about some of the things the FFA has been doing over the last few weeks?
Well, we had our first meeting in August. We had California kickball, which was very fun if anyone's played. You know, if you know, you know. This morning, actually, we had our discovering kickoff. We, ran a bunch of workshops with a bunch of 8th graders to drum up interest. And, I mean, we've got a pretty good bunch of students here. That's all I can really say. And we've got forestry coming up, which we're also pretty excited for. Just all in all, we're all ready to get at it.
And, of course, we wish you good luck in seeing the forest for the trees.
Gosh.
Yes, as Macy Brandt serves it through off of Barton, that close to a double hit. She's loaded up, kind of has it go off the side of her hand. The lead is out to 11-5. Macy Branch will dribble it and load it up here. Serve is across. Barton's there. McGee back sets it, tipped over by Albritton, and Sullivan brings it high. Macy Branch to the outside to Liv Barkley. Blocked. Alexa keeps alive, and Liv sends it over. Set in the middle for Toombs. Long and out of bounds. Nice job by Starbuck to pull back there at the last second. 12-5, 7-point advantage here now for the Cyclones. As again, they try to make it a short evening here. Served by Branch off of Whitby. Popped high. Well, McGee and Barton couldn't decide who was going to get it. Drops in again. It is 13-5. Now, you do remember Cyclones got up 21-11 in game 1 before the Farmers would come back and get it all the way down to a 3-point lead. As Branch serves that one into the net. And now 13-6, 1 touchdown lead here for the Cyclones as Albritton will let it go. Serve off of Branch on the outside. Liv Barkley load up, down the block she goes. It is 14-6. Kennedy Webster in, Liv Barkley will go out. Webster, one of the seniors, she and Branch, along with Sullivan and Barkley. For the Cyclones. Starbuck, one of those seniors as well. Webster serve, hard serve, picked up back row. McGee gonna set it for Toombs. Webster brings it high off of Sullivan. She'll tip it back row. Whitby brings it up, and Toombs flips it across. Starbuck on the run, picks it up, now to the middle to Barkley. Did not catch the edge. Liv Barkley will check in. Kennedy Webster will go out. Whitby's serve picked up by Starbuck. On the outside, Nia Zimmerman, long shot back row and out of bounds. And once again, here comes Farmington. Serve across by Whitby off Starbuck. Up for Alexa Barkley, dumped it over, saved, and yep, a lift called. I wasn't sure there. Schreiber tried to get it up, but just kind of used her palms to flip it. Serve by Starbuck. Hard line drive. Whitby pops it high. McGee helps it out and miscommunication. And Will, we've seen that several times here tonight for the Farmers. One of those things where you want somebody to yell and say, hey, I got it.
Yep, and that's one of the biggest issues we can see for both these teams going on is that's a free point for the other side. And you just, in a game as tight-knit as this, you can't give those up.
And now makes it 17-8, 9-point lead here for the Cyclones. 10 or 11 has been about the largest for either of the two games. Serve off of Whitby, back row. McGee gonna help it high, and then Schreiber will bump it across. Reynoso takes it, Sullivan gonna set her up, the load up, off the blocks, and dug at the floor. McGee for Schreiber, dribbles it over, Sullivan with a save, and Starbuck gonna send it over. Whitby's got it. Up to Schreiber, into the net it goes, and it's a 10-point advantage, 18-8. Starbuck again, one of the, for speed, one of the best servers for West Prairie. And that one right through the hands of Dua, and makes it 19-8. Substitution coming in, number 7, Sydney Nannon. Replacing Schreiber here. As Starbuck comes to it, sends it across, flipped up to McGee on the outside. Barton trying to get it. 20-8, and now another substitution as number 15, Rory Staley, will check in. And now Starbuck. 20-8 lead. That one hammers it to the back wall. High, deep, and generally unplayable. Ella Johnson will come in. And Johnson back to serve now. 20-9, 11-point lead here for the Cyclones. Serve off of Zimmerman. Sullivan gonna load it up. The long run up for J.C. Reynoso, who puts it in and good. 21-9, Madison Adams in, Macy Branch in. Sullivan. Wanders into it. Low line drive and sent up front. Johnson gonna bring it outside. Hammered over and out of bounds by McGee. 22-9, 13-point advantage now for West Prairie as West Prairie tries to finish it off here. Sullivan, load up, hit high in the back row there by Duwan. Nobody could get it. 23-9, a 14-point advantage for the Cyclones. Kennedy Webster coming in. Liv Barkley will go out. 23-9, 14-point advantage. Serve by Sullivan, back row. Barton up front, and they can't get it out of the net. Game and or match point here for the Cyclones. Sullivan now trying to finish it off here. 24-9 lead here, win it in 2. Serve, low line drive, popped up in the back row. They set it on the outside, tapped over and out of bounds, and the Cyclones take it home in 2. And I'll tell you what, folks, that's going to wrap up our broadcast here tonight, and thank you for being in. And tell you what, there'll be days that'll be better as we finish it off here tonight. Any last thoughts, Will?
Well, I think both teams have a lot of goals they're going to set for this year. I mean, miscommunications and just trying to apply more pressure on each team, but I see a lot of growth from this point, and I can't wait to see them face each other again.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up from here. You've been watching TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Thanks for tuning us in. Thanks for turning us on.